Cynics on Disney podcast contains adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
This is the Cynics on Disney podcast, presented by nightclub33.com.
Welcome into this week's episode of the Cynics on Disney podcast. I'm your host, Bobby, aka the Disney Cynic.
And I'm Amanda, aka the Anti-Cynic.
And today we are coming to you taped. Well, not live. We're not live. Streaming this right now, right? So, but we are taping this in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. Okay.
I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who would call it Hurricane Hell.
You gotta separate the syllables, if you will, to make it.
There you go.
Worthwhile and everything like that. And obviously the hurricanes, they do affect us down here in Florida, but also this one got up and kind of affected other people that we know, specifically up in the Atlanta area, all of our hometown family and friends, as well as some of our folks over in the St. Louis area, because I'm pretty sure that storm now has just kind of died right there, like somewhere around like Ohio, Illinois, whatever. So if you're feeling the effects of Hurricane Helene, we are rooting for you and hoping that this shit will, ease up for you sometime soon. But nonetheless, that is a reason for the slight delay in our broadcast here. So
yeah, it came in on our normal recording day is Thursday nights, and that's when the storm came in for us.
Power's flickering left and right. Don't know if
the wind. Literally, we could hear in the house. We could hear the wind howling,
which was cool. Don't get me wrong.
It was, but I don't think it would have sounded cool coming through on the microphone.
I mean, it certainly would have seemed ominous. That's for sure.
So
like some sort of impending doom is happening.
Yeah, and I think our dog thought some sort of impending doom was happening. So.
Yeah. So usually, like with a hurricane show, we probably do a hurricane show once a year, right?
Yeah.
Because that's about how often we get clipped by one of these. We've been here, 4 years now?
Yeah.
But this is our fourth?
No, this is year 3.
Oh, this is our fourth hurricane season.
We moved in. We officially, finally moved
2021.
In January 1st, 2021.
2022, 2023, and now 2024.
Oh, yeah, because it was January 1st. So, yeah.
Yeah, so...
3.5 years.
I think my point that I was trying to make is that this is now the 4th time we've gone through hurricane. Will you stop interrupting me? God, this is the 4th time that we have gone through hurricane season. And every year when we have a hurricane show, we tend to spend a couple minutes here reminding everybody that this is Florida. Hurricanes do affect Disney and they do affect travel and everything like that. So if you are a planner, if you are someone who is trying to book a vacation down in this general vicinity, whether that's Disney, Universal, cruise line, whatever, okay, you got to make sure that you are like aware that the reason why you are getting a better deal on all of these types of trips is because of hurricanes. Let's be honest.
Also, travel insurance. If you're coming this time of year, get some travel insurance.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not usually one to say spend the extra money on something like that, but this time of year specifically is one that we're just more likely to have an impact like that. So,
and please understand that while yes, hurricane season starts in June and goes through November, it really doesn't pick up down here until September.
Nah, not really until September. But usually it's done by October. I mean, we might get a storm after that. Usually it's pretty rare if we see a storm in November, but certainly in October, usually there's one more. There's one more that'll like skirt the state of Florida and will make one last final, disruption in our lives. Before
there is a disturbance in the Caribbean right now that we're tracking. So.
We got a couple of them. I think we got 2.
Yeah.
I think there's one in the Atlantic as well. So this may not be our only hurricane show for the year, which is why we are going to drop the subject now and move on to a subject that also kind of doesn't really affect anybody right this second, technically. But it may. It may, and that's why we are reviewing this. Otherwise, we would have just skipped it and then moved on. So instead, we are going to talk about the drone show over at Disney Springs, you guys. So yay! Woo! Soundboard's not working. Steve, insert cheering kids. Okay, so the drone show. It's over at Disney Springs. I'm pretty sure that's all it's called, and this is the first time that it's ever happened. But because it is her obliged segment, we do send it over to the history professor. That would be Amanda. Amanda, can you give us any history on the drone show at Disney World?
Yes. So this is like the first like drawn out like multiple months long thing at Disney Springs as far as drone shows go. It's not the first drone show though. They did
Okay.
one in 2016 for the holiday season. I don't think we saw that one.
I don't think we saw
I remember it.
I think it
remember
was
hearing about it.
happening while we were down here on a big
Yeah.
trip, but we did not choose to go
We
see
didn't
it.
see it. But this is actually they decided to do this one because there was one in there's a drone show at Disneyland Paris that apparently was extremely popular. That one was titled Disney Electrical Sky Parade, and they used about 500 drones to recreate moments from the Main Street Electrical Parade over there. So that was really popular. So they decided, you know what, let's bring drone shows over here.
I don't think that they got what was popular, but continue.
On March 21st of this year, it was announced that there would be a drone show at Disney Springs for the summer.
Yay.
And it opened, officially had its first showing, May 24th of
To
this
massive
year.
crowds.
Yeah, we chose, very wisely not to go.
Like we were gonna.
We were gonna, but something happened and we didn't. And then we saw pictures of the crowds, and yeah, we're glad we didn't.
Yeah.
Because people couldn't move.
It's too peoply outside sometimes, and this is one of those situations.
This was performed over Lake Buena Vista on the west side of Disney Springs. So over by like the Orange parking garage in that area.
Yeah, over the lake.
Yep, over the lake, which is Lake Buena Vista. And it recreated moments from popular Disney movies. It had, segments from Peter Pan, Dumbo, WALL-E, Big Hero 6, Star Wars, Up, Coco, Mary Poppins, Nightmare Before Christmas, Orange Bird, Hercules, and Tailspin. There we go. Not a Disney movie, but a Disney show, and it's Tailspin. And I'm so glad I remembered the name because I knew it wasn't DuckTales. And I could not, when I was writing up my notes, could not for the life of me remember the name because I was going off of pictures I took. And so in my notes, instead of saying Tailspin, it just says not DuckTales. But I remember
it's true that it's not DuckTales. So,
but I remembered the name, so yay me!
there is that, I guess.
But it closed finally. It closed September 2nd of this year, so it really only ran for this Memorial Day to Labor Day, I think, is what it was.
That's okay. And you know what? That's all right. So we are going to give it a review. You said that there were multiple scenes from Disney, basically intellectual properties. Mm-hmm. And this is where my constant battling with the Disney company has to continue. I think the reason why the drone show over in Paris was a little bit more popular, and I think that overall the drone show there was more popular than the one over at Disney Springs was. Guys, I can't stress this enough. You cannot make a universal intellectual property. You just can't. That's universally beloved by adults, children, ranging all demographics and ages. Like that is just not going to happen. Stop trying to make it happen. But what you can do is make a theme park that is accessible by people of all ages, races, creeds, whatever demographics. And somehow that will bind all of them together. And guess what? A parade show that was built for a specific theme park that could bind everybody together like that. Yes, that is going to be more popular than fucking Star Wars because I fucking hate Star Wars. At least everything that's been made since I don't know, 2004, we're going to call it.
Okay.
So, like, I'm not going to get excited about this, something like fucking Star Wars getting thrown in to a drone show. But as a Disney Parks fan, I might be more amenable to the Main Street Electrical Parade, which, of course, does ironically have some intellectual property in it. But nonetheless, like, that's the kind of thing that binds everybody together as a Disney Parks fan.
Yes, and it is the one at Disneyland Paris is still going. I just looked that up.
Okay.
And it runs until January 6th of next year.
How long has it been running?
I don't know. This doesn't tell me. The Disneyland Paris website does not tell me when it started.
It's okay.
But it does have a note that the show's not going to take place October 1st. Of this year.
Isn't that like an anniversary or something?
That's Magic Kingdom's anniversary here.
I thought they always opened up like castle parks on October 1st.
Let me
see. Like a tradition.
Hold on. October 1st. I'm looking to see if that happens to be a like holiday in France.
I don't know. But look, the point being that, you know, we've got a Disney park set, which is different than a Disney film set.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go ahead and just say it. I like Disney parks, don't like Disney films. So just Disney throwing up whatever they've shown on their TV screens recently doesn't do anything. Doesn't do anything.
Yeah. I just found out about when the Disneyland Paris one happened.
So
January of this year. So it'll run for about a year.
Okay.
And it apparently they had a celebrate. They did one on July 14th, which in France is Bastille Day. And apparently that one is now in the Guinness Book of World Records because it was the largest aerial display of a fictional character formed by drones. They used 1,571 drones to create a tricolor Mickey Mouse head over Sleeping Beauty Castle.
Okay.
So Disneyland Paris out there breaking some records when it comes to drones.
Cool. I guess I don't know what to say to that. Honestly, this whole show would have been maybe a little bit more exciting had we actually walked into Disney Springs to take it in. Because I don't know if there was a music soundtrack or not, but we did not hear a music soundtrack.
We need to note that we were watching this from the top deck of the orange parking garage.
Why wouldn't we?
Because we didn't want to deal with people.
Right. That's why we.
And even then, the top deck of the parking garage had a lot of people up there watching it.
It did. It did, and with no music. So this is kind of goes into something that I have been dealing with all week as an earworm. The Spectromagic music from the Spectromagic parade, the old 1990s, Disney parade. Talk about an earworm, and it is super catchy. It super is. Mm-hmm. But like that's the thing with nighttime shows. They're not just visual experiences. Yeah. They are like sensory experiences. Mm-hmm. And so what I mean by that is it's not just the one sense that we are taking it all in with. Theme parks are supposed to have all of them. Sights, smells, sounds, tastes, touches
touch.
all of it. Like seriously, that's what their theme parks are supposed to be about. When it comes to a drone show, you can really only capture one unless you include an element like a musical accompaniment, which I'm shocked that they did not.
Yeah.
Do you think it's because
Again,
of a budget issue, or do
well,
you think?
again, there could have been music if we had actually gone into Disney Springs instead of
But
staying.
you would have heard something coming from the
Yeah.
speakers.
I
I
didn't
would
hear
think.
anything. I didn't really hear any. Yeah, I didn't hear any music, and I would have thought even then they would have pumped the music into the garage as well. They pump it into restaurants for the fireworks and such. So
Even if they didn't pump it into the garage, we still should have heard it coming from like the courtyard outside of World of
yeah,
Coke,
yeah,
because that's a pretty big gathering area, and
it is.
they have
Yeah,
music that they play
hmm
at a loud enough clip that you can hear it from the parking decks.
yeah.
Didn't hear
I
even
didn't hear
like
anything.
that background music. Did you?
Yeah, no, I didn't hear any background music.
Okay, so this is where it kind of fails for me. What say
Yeah,
you?
yeah. Music would have made it much better. I thought it was a cool show anyway, but you're right. Music would have made that so much better.
So this is kind of what I keep driving home here. It's not that it is about the characters. It's not that it is about a movie when it comes to the
hmm
intellectual property stuff. It's not even like the type of attraction, whether it's a show or a ride or
hmm
anything like that. What seems to be the most important thing to the company is that a character is included, not that the show is good.
Right, right.
That's the kind of thinking and mentality that leads to poor quality experiences, which takes all this whole thing down a lot
hmm
to me. Visually speaking, it's super cool.
Yeah.
It is very cool how these drones transition to the various characters and the various scenes, and they're flying around like a swarm of bees or something like that.
hmm
But you can't see that
Right.
from the ground. So it just all of a sudden just poof, this appears in the sky, which again visually is very cool, but like without that like accompanying music, it just doesn't really do
Yeah.
much for me.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. It was cool to watch all these drones fly into the positions that they needed to be in to
Yeah.
change the characters, and whoever the people controlling these drones were doing a fantastic job at that.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
certain that it's a pre-programmed route and everything,
but
but
still,
still, you got to come up with
um,
the idea to
yeah,
program it. So,
yeah.
I
Whoever,
I just wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page. There's not just some guy on the rooftop of the Lime Lot
no,
flying the drones or
no,
something like that.
no.
So, you know,
And even if there was, it wouldn't be just one guy. It would be like a
yeah, it
whole
would have
team
to
of
be
people.
500 guys with each drone.
So they programming it, whatever they had to do to get those drones to do all of this. The visuals were amazing. It needed music, and it needed
Well,
to be longer.
yeah, I concur, but this could be something. You know what? Let's just go ahead and rate this so that I can enlarge this into a different discussion. On a scale of 1 to 5 drones, how many shows are you giving this attraction?
I'm going to give it a 3.
Okay,
Again, it was visually visually very very cool. It needed music, and I could have sworn I saw something that said that there was like original songs for this, but now I can't find that, so maybe I imagined it. Oh yeah, no, it apparently there was an original song that would be created for the show. So, and they said they installed more lights and speakers in preparation.
I didn't hear a goddamn thing.
I didn't hear any any sort
You can
of
hear that the parks music for a fireworks show from resorts,
right. Well, they pumped the music in for that. Um
but that's not the point, I guess. The point is that even if you're at those resorts, the music is pumped in. You don't have to do the extra work.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a lesser experience because you can watch the fucking the fireworks from Magic Kingdom from your hotel
Yeah.
balcony at the Polynesian,
Yeah.
or at Contemporary or Bay Lake or Grand Floridian or whatever. Hell, some of them you
Yeah.
can do from the what's it called? From Fort Wilderness and Wilderness Lodge, even with the trees and the Discovery Island and everything in between. You
Yeah.
still catch the fireworks from there. So you can like I just don't care about the excuses anymore. There's technology out there. There's I'm not just saying like speakers. I'm saying that fucking televisions can stream the music.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, like
And
we're
you're
running out of
right. Like I'm reading a Disney Parks blog article about the show. And they said that there was music and that it played a big role. But again, not being
where
able to
does
hear.
it
And
play a big role? Does it
we
play
were
only a role in
standing. Yeah,
sorry.
they said the best place to see it was the waterway along the waterway.
So what?
So
You can only experience this if you're
the
at
whole
Jock
show,
Lindsay's?
yeah. Yeah, if you're along the lake somewhere on the west side.
No, that's the problem right there. Like,
Yeah.
no, you have to make a nighttime experience for something like that where you can see it from the fucking from Old Key West and Golden Oak and over that area. You can
Yeah.
see the drone show from over that way. Make it a complete thing.
I
Like,
should have
don't.
been able to hear the music from the parking garage. Like that should have been it.
It's these little things that are going to drive me absolutely crazy and also make me
Mhm.
sound like a psychopath. I know that. Okay. But like the point that I keep reiterating with this is that in previous vacations and previous administrations of running the company, there
Mhm.
wasn't a half assed show that I
Mhm.
had to point out was half assed.
Right.
It
Right.
was a full and complete show that was awesome, and we
Mhm.
didn't have to go through beta testing, which, by the way, is what I think this is. So I'm going to give this grade an incomplete.
Okay.
Okay. And I don't think that the final version is going to be seen over at Disney Springs. I think it's going to be seen over at Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom needs a nighttime show. I know they can't do fireworks for obvious reasons.
Right. And they've tried to do projections, which works to a degree, but it does not have the same sort of
You have to be
what's
in a certain position in order to see the projections properly to get the effect.
it's not just that projections just don't have what I believe Disneyland Paris would call a certain I don't know
Je ne
what.
sais quoi.
Sure. But like they just projections on a giant tree don't
Yeah.
they don't have the same effect as
The
fireworks do.
drones would be cool at Animal Kingdom.
Very much so. They would also be safer for the animals. They
Mhm.
would be quieter for the animals so they don't spook them or anything like that. Like there would be a lot of good things that they could do with a drone show over at Animal Kingdom, and that's where I see this ultimately going. I kind of see this as the test bed.
I can see that with it being only a summer thing and
Mhm. And the fact
but
that they did not retrofit all of their speakers and everything like that to be something like what I'm talking about. I
yeah.
think that it's totally possible that they threw this thing together half-assed at the last minute because this is what they want to do over at Animal Kingdom, but they don't have all the logistics of it worked out yet. So they're trying to
Mhm.
figure all that stuff out, and they're doing that over at Disney Springs.
Yeah. The show was just under 10 minutes. So it wasn't super long. It felt in the show, even not even ignoring the fact that we couldn't hear music or anything. The
Sure.
show itself felt a little incomplete to me.
Agreed. And that's all the more reason why I'm trying to fair, I guess,
Yeah.
with the incomplete grade. But as the show is currently, was, I suppose, currently constituted, no, I don't think that it was a success. I don't think that it was good enough.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. I like the premise. This is a good idea.
It is a
Now
good idea.
take the idea and run with it and finish the idea. That's all I'm
Mhm.
asking.
Yeah.
So see, this isn't just me being negative. This isn't just me being a dick and like every other YouTuber out there seems to not be a pixie duster. You know, there
Yeah.
because there's just a lot of other shows out there that may have the same sort of frustration, and in some cases we share opinions,
Yeah.
but we're not the same class of Disney fan. And I don't mean to say that they are better or worse or anything like that. What I'm saying is that there is the exclusively negative fan base. There is the
Mhm.
exclusively positive fan base. And then there's us in the middle who says, this is a good idea, but you fucked it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that that's where we need to be. I guess. I don't know. That's just me. But I don't want to be associated with certain YouTube channels. Let's put it that way. All right. Let's get into a little bit of news. And by a little bit of news, I mean a shit ton of news that has seemed to come out since, Thursday. And I'm really glad that we did not actually record on the day that the hurricane fucking hit. Because then we
So
would not
much
have
so.
gotten some of the news that we got. So,
Right?
one of those, the first one, what the hell am I trying to say? The first story tonight comes, I guess, as a result of permits, which is basically the long and short way of saying it. Disney started back at reconstructing this Reflections Resort. It would seem so. Yay! Woo! I guess. No, it's not. Okay, so I don't think this project ever technically died.
No.
The way that this is being made up, and because like the first day that this came out, they announced we're building a 10-story tower over at Fort Wilderness. And my first thought was, so you're just doing Reflections? Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that's what this
That's
was.
what it is. It's exactly what it is.
But here's where the interesting part for me anyway comes in. Okay, so we have discussed previously that Disney Vacation Club uh, has now a component with the cabins over at Fort Wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but on the Notcast, this was discussed a little bit more extensively. It is not the same class of resort as your typical DVC resort. So you either have to add amenities to bring it up to par with the level of every other DVC resort that's out there, or you have to make major discounts in points and everything like that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Well,
Mm-hmm.
here we go. Now they're adding. They didn't say it was Reflections. They said it's Fort Wilderness. So now they're bringing Fort Wilderness up from the depths of the value resorts, and they are snatching that and bringing that up to the
It was
level of
never
a
a
Gold
value
Deluxe.
resort.
The cabins were always listed as a moderate, but the campgrounds themselves was
Oh,
always
the
listed as a
campgrounds
value.
itself. Yeah.
Okay. Well, now the campgrounds are still there, but now we have three different classifications of amenity or of accommodations. Basically, like we have campgrounds where you can literally just pitch a tent. You have the cabins or the RV hookups, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and now you have this 10-story tower.
Yeah.
That's not getting confusing at all.
Yeah. So I'm getting on like the website for the cabins, and they're already saying DVC.
Disney has not explicitly stated that this is Fort Wilderness specifically.
Well, if you go on to the website, they are saying due to construction at the campsites, like through November, horseback riding will be unavailable. So there is construction happening
Right.
at the cabins. Um, it
But
mentioned it,
but we don't know if technically these are classified as the same resort. Are you going to go
right?
check in over at this Reflections Tower to go to your campsite? Like that's the question.
Yeah. Um,
I
and
don't
when I
see that
did,
happening.
let's see, what does this say? There is something that says a Disney Vacation Club resort. The
Okay.
cabins
Well,
at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort, a Disney Vacation Club resort. So the cabins are already classified as vacation club.
well, that we knew, yes,
Yeah.
but I'm talking about this tower. We don't know
Yeah.
if this is connected to Fort Wilderness, if it's its own independent resort, or if this is like something in between,
Yeah.
like a difference, like almost like Port Orleans and Riverside are
Yeah.
different resorts, but technically they're really kind of the same thing. They share a
Yeah.
lot of the same amenities. Same with Pop Century and Art of Animation. Like, is that what they're doing with Fort
I don't
Wilderness?
know. There is one website that 2 days ago, yeah, um, posted that construction has begun.
Sure.
Um,
Well, that we knew, yes, because they had to file a permit.
and it's saying it's reflections. Um,
But is Reflections a Fort Wilderness resort or is Reflections a separate resort? That's what we need to know.
the name of it is Reflections at Disney Lakeside Lodge, and it's a hotel at the resort and campgrounds. But you know,
This is where the
I don't.
confusing nuance
This
shit
is
gets in.
where, yeah,
Because if it's Fort Wilderness, then Fort Wilderness owners for the cabins would have access to 11-month booking windows over at that tower. That's why
yeah,
this is a question and if it's important or not.
yeah,
Because if you don't have 11 months over there, if you do have 7 months over at the campgrounds, God, how could you justify those DVC points?
yeah, yeah,
I mean, really, like you can't justify them at that point. So that's why I have this question. Okay, well, this is not to be answered right this second. I don't think.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. I
So
don't think it's.
we've still got a little bit more information to come, but
Yeah.
just know that reflections is not dead. In fact, it's reflecting again. So Um, also, it should be noted that for this construction project that a lot of the setup and staging grounds for this project are going to be over at the Disney Stoll Airport, short takeoff and landing
Yeah.
airport that they used for bus driver training as well at one point.
Hmm.
But now it's just a trailer park filled with construction trailers. So there you go.
Yep.
If you
Yep.
ever wanted to know what happened to the airport, there it is. Now you know.
Yep.
So there's
Uh,
that.
and
Second bit of news here that we just kind of got here. As a matter of fact, I think it came out today, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Oh no, excuse me. It was published on Friday. This is according to a report from WDW Magic. Excuse me. It is expected that a phased closure of Dino Land USA offerings is set to begin before the holiday season kicks off. It is expected that the phased closure will begin sometime in November or early December. Disney World has not responded to comment as of yet, but usually when this type of date gets reported, it's pretty solid. So um, I guess we got a month or
yeah, I
so.
mean, I guess we're gonna have to make a trip over to Animal Kingdom soon, so we can get one last ride in.
Well, that's the thing is that like right now we are sitting in a Disney limbo. I guess we still have not reviewed or renewed our
We
annual
need to.
passes. You say that. You say that.
I have stuff I want to do coming up.
Okay.
Do I just need to renew my pass?
I don't know. Well, so that's the thing is that like it's becoming a burden and a chore for us to go.
Okay,
That's
but then
kind of how
here's
I feel like it, though. Okay, so the point of theme parks and the point of vacations is to have fun,
mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm,
If we're not having fun, why are we spending that much money?
right.
There's a part of me that wonders if maybe the better idea isn't just downgrading to the quote unquote pirate pass instead of the sorcerer pass that we currently have. But it just, I don't know. Like, it's not that I don't like Disney at all anymore. It's that they keep taking away all the stuff that I do like about it. And it's
Yeah,
making me want to go less.
yeah,
So yeah, of course, I want to get one last ride of dinosaur in, or as I'm going to continue to call it, countdown to extinction, because that's what it should be known as. But also, like it's another thing that they're taking away from me. It
yeah,
feels like
yeah,
specifically, and like it makes me want to spend less money on them because none of the cool shit that they say is coming is for me.
yeah,
Not one single ride that was announced at D23 is something that made me go, yes! Not one fist pump moment.
yeah,
Every other goddamn attraction, every announcement, every everything that they basically came out with at D23 made me not want to spend more money.
yeah,
So I'm not trying to be like a jerk about this or whatever and say that no, I don't want to go. Of course, I do want to say goodbye to Countdown to Extinction. It's been a favorite of mine since it opened, basically,
yeah,
going on damn near 30 years.
yeah,
But I'm struggling to justify it. The biggest justifier to the renewal of our annual passes for me is this show.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
without going, then we don't have a show.
We don't have a show. Yeah, we don't have a show if we don't go.
So probably we will renew. But I'm not like I'm not jittery about it. I think you are.
I'm only jittery about it because there's the show at Epcot this upcoming weekend.
You mean when we're going to be
No, it's
not
on
there?
Sunday and Monday. It's on Sunday and
Oh,
Monday.
oh, okay. Saturdays are spoken for us in the fall. So,
Yes.
you know.
This one's on
Um,
Sunday and Monday, and it's because it's my favorite.
yeah, this goes for literally everyone. Everyone. If there is something major in the fall that's important to you, make sure that it's during a bye week or during a road game
Hmm.
for Florida. If you expect me to attend, so there's that. But
Yeah.
even Disney, like this past weekend, there was it was a bye weekend. Didn't even have the game to watch on TV, and I still had. I mean, not really much interest in
I mean, to
even
be
going
fair,
down.
to be fair, we've had a pretty exhausting couple of weeks. So
Okay, but I like
no, I get it.
even in the past, leading up to something like this, there was always a part of me that was like, okay, well, we don't have a football game this weekend, so why
Let's
don't
go
we
to
go
Disney.
do X, Y, or Z instead?
Yeah,
I'm not even thinking in terms of those for like doing the show
yeah,
these days. Like even back as far as May, like
yeah,
a few weeks ago, like we were planning and plotting and like, hey, let's do something goofy like fucking family
yeah,
treehouse and stuff like that. I don't have that same desire to even do that right now.
yeah,
That's Disney burning a customer
yeah,
out, just burning me out
yeah,
with all the nitpicky negative bullshit that I continue to harp on this show, with all the same stuff that my parents have experienced, and we haven't even gotten into that one on this show yet. My parents, we've talked about it here before, how they're DVC members, they've loved Disney, they've gone to Disney, they're about to sell their contract.
Yeah. And after the last experience, I can't really blame them.
Yeah. And it's because the Disney guest experience team basically doesn't just understand that if you are at a minimum, just apologetic about a situation, you usually just chalk it up, move
Yeah.
on. Right?
Yeah.
But if you're going to be indignant, if you're going to be an asshole about it and say, well, we can do whatever we want, then it's not going to go well. It's not going to be, what everybody wants out of a vacation experience. So that is not what my parents wish to experience any further. This is not the straw that, but this isn't the main reason. They had an incident that happened at Old Key West. Um, and instead of being apologetic about it, Disney has been jerks about it.
Yeah.
Now, listen, my dad's not exactly someone that can be easily sympathetic when you're on the phone because he's upset. And I totally understand that. Because I used to work customers. That's how I got started in my career, believe it or not, guys. I used to answer phones for a living, and I can assure you, yeah, it sucks. Because people are not angry at you. They are angry at the situation, but they're going to take it out on you.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure. Now, that doesn't mean that he doesn't have a problem that
Right.
shouldn't be fixed.
Right.
That doesn't mean, and I'm not going to get into too many details with this because I wasn't there for the incident, and frankly, Dad is trying to push this further. But like, you're talking about a family that has literally been coming to the parks since the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they burned through that kind of customer. The one that was locked in.
Because they bought into DVC when the only resort was Old Key West, right?
No, they bought in 1998. And so Boardwalk was available, Hilton Head and Vero Beach were both available as well. Beach Club was going to become available fairly soon thereafter.
Yeah.
And there were a whole slate of other resorts that were about to open. Animal Kingdom Lodge being notable among them. But point being that they've been invested in this experience for the long. We did not go on vacations to national parks. I've never been to New York or Washington, D.C.
Same.
Why?
Well, I mean, it's the same with me. Most of my childhood, I've gone. There's been a few other vacations where we've gone elsewhere, but since 1997, pretty much exclusively our vacations are either to Disney World or on a Disney cruise.
Disney World or Hilton Head Island for us.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of customer that you're burning through, Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just between the two of us, we spend $1,000 a year roughly on annual passes each.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's $2,000.
Yep.
Throw in at least $20 a day
every time
that we actually go for snacks and water and whatever. Just on average, $20, somewhere in that neighborhood. Throw in another 50 to 75 once every 6 months or so for you to get a lounge fly.
Mm-hmm.
And throw in $100 every time that we do a dining review, pretty much.
Yeah.
On average. We probably do 20 or so dining reviews a year?
Yeah. Yeah.
Certainly in that neighborhood. So that we're talking we're talking $5,000 or $6,000 without a hotel. between the two of
Yeah.
us. You're burning me out. That's $5,000 that you had locked in, and all you had to do was not what you've done, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
No,
don't
I
get it.
agree.
I don't get it. So I'm burnt out by Disney. That's just me.
I'm gonna be honest, and this is something I don't even really like to admit to myself, but I am too.
That's coming from the anti-cynic, you guys. That is coming from someone who is very specifically on this show to be the positive voice for Disney.
I'm just I still want the pass. I still want to be able to go. But yeah, I we have not had the best of experiences the last few times, and then top that off with the experiences that your parents had this last time. Um, there's a lot, and again, I still want the pass. I still want to be able to go, but I'm also honestly like I've been thinking about like other places for us to go on vacation,
Oh,
and
same.
like I've been,
I have
I've been.
zero desire to travel to see another Disney anything for years.
Like I'm just
Years.
like, hey, let's we can go visit your brother in Virginia, and I can head up my history stuff while we're there.
Sure.
Hey, let's go to New York and Boston. Let's go to like these
Let's
other
go
places.
anywhere but Anaheim or Hawaii or Tokyo or Shanghai or Hong Kong or Paris. Those are off the table for me for a while.
Yeah, I get it. Um,
If I have to have a Disney fix, which it's almost like I'm a recovering addict, or like I'm trying to quit smoking.
yeah,
Like, of course, my first instinct is to like go light up, right?
yeah,
But no, you got to put it. You got to set the pack to the side, and just like smoking, it's very easy for someone like us who maybe like feels like we need to quit a little bit.
hmm
Like it's just
yeah,
easy for us to walk down the street, not walk, but drive down the street, and get our fix
yeah,
if we want to. For everyone else who's elsewhere and everything like that, like this is a whole different discussion for you guys, okay?
yeah,
Because like you get your buffer, you get your decompression when you don't live here.
yeah. But it's an everyday thing for us. Like I have students whose parents work at Disney. I have like it's life.
We have said it for years on this show that living here changes your relationship with the parks. And the way that we do Disney is not the same way that Steve and Becky and Pat from the Notcast. That it's not the way that they experience the Disney
It's not the
parks.
way that our families, who though they've been coming for years, they still experience it in a different way.
All right, look, I don't see a dead horse. I don't see Secretariat laying around here, but might as well grab a wampum stick because I feel like I beat that with the dead to death. With I mean, we're
Surprised.
I did beat the dead horse there. So,
Yeah.
uh, let's transition to just something a little bit more comical to end the evening. Or at least it's comical to me. It was not comical at all to the children, but it was hilarious to me. What, of course, I'm referring to does not come to us from Orlando. No, this comes clear across the country in California. And that would be over at Magic Kingdom, or not Magic Kingdom, Disneyland, where a mother of two was arrested and trespassed from the Disneyland parks for lying about her children's age
Not
to
just
get in
lying
free.
about their age. She was full on sneaking them in.
Okay, it's not. She didn't have like a lookout and then somebody throw the kid over the wall to sneak them in.
No, but I think like she had like one of those strollers that had like a bottom part, and like at least I think she was putting like one of the kids in there.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't even
and
hear
like
that part.
covering it up. I think she may have lied about one kid's age, but I think she was like legit hiding the second kid.
Well, one kid's age was definitely 4 or 5. And anybody
Okay.
who's, I don't know, been alive knows that a 2-year-old is not anywhere near the size of a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old.
Mhm.
They get bigger. They
Yep.
have growth spurts. This is biology. We're not stupid. And anybody who can see they have a policy, Disney does, that anybody who under the age of 3, I believe it is, they
Mhm.
don't require park ticket media for entry. Anybody 4 or over, you got to pay. And anything between 4 and 9, you get a kid's price. But everything
Yep.
above 9 years old, you got to pay the full price. I totally understand why this woman was trying to save money because it's fucking expensive. Like all the stuff that we just talked about would be made less of a frustrating thing to me if it wasn't so much goddamn money.
Expensive. Right. Right.
So I understand and sympathize with this woman, but sweetie, come on, really?
She did it 4 times in a 2-month period.
Well, that's on Disney. Okay, like the other 3 times, I'm sorry, but like this is like that's on you.
And here's the thing, speaking as a former cast member, and I'm not speaking for the brand or the company, just want to make that clear. But I am a former cast member. It takes a lot for them to actually walk you out in handcuffs. They try to avoid that if at all possible. So I don't know what this woman did after I think like when they tried to, I think she blew past security. Security was like trying to stop her and she just kept going.
It's not funny, but
And
funny.
so now Disney security can't arrest anyone. It has to be
No,
like the local police. But guess what? The local police have a station there. Like there's always like, or not a station, but there's at least a couple of Anaheim police officers who are at the parks. Like that's where they are stationed. And so they just like called them and said, I guess gave the description or whatever. I don't know what she did when the police got to her, but whatever it was, the fact that
ran
she was walked out in handcuffs.
in tears too. By the way,
And
like
her poor, I feel so bad for those 2 girls because in like they were like you could hear them yelling and they're yelling in Spanish, but they were yelling, "Help us, help us," because they had no clue what was happening.
yeah, well, of course they didn't because they're 4. But they mom was fucking up. It's not on.
Oh no, it's not on the kids. It's
It's
definitely
not
on
on the
mom.
kids,
Mom screwed up.
and it's also not on Disney. They do have a policy. It's on the honor system, I guess. Which like I don't know. There's no IDs for a 3-year-old. Like nobody has a
She
fucking.
got caught because I think that's what they were trying to do was search that stroller, and
Well,
she blew past. And she blew
that's
past
stupid.
security.
Oh,
Um,
that's stupid.
and that's how I think she got caught.
Look, I get it, lady. If you want to save some money, perhaps you should be tuning in to the Nodcast, which of course debuts every Friday at 4 p.m. Magic Kingdom time. That's East Coast time for the crying mother and children that just got arrested. So make sure that you check out the Nodcast every Friday, which of course is brought to you by NotClub33.com, the very same website that also brings you this here show. Now, Amanda, well, we also spread ourselves around on social media as well, do we not?
We do.
Where might we be found?
Cooper would also like you to know that yes, we are on social media.
Yeah.
You can find us on Facebook and that site formerly known as Twitter at Cynical Disney and everywhere else. So that's Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Pinterest. I think I covered all of them at Cynics on Disney.
As I said, show brought to you by NotClub33.com. Also, we are going to be getting our audio feedback, or soon anyway. We should be anyway. So make sure that when we do re-release everything on the audio feed, that you like and subscribe and rate and review all of that stuff over on the audio feed, but also on YouTube. Make sure that you comment and subscribe to the channel as well. That would be a huge help. We do love our commenters. Particularly this week, I'm going to highlight Buster Byron Bluth, who that's also a character from Arrested Development. But nonetheless, he is going to be staying at the Saratoga Springs here in the near future, and we do hope to have his full report in a comment on YouTube here soon. So, Buster, we salute you, sir. Until next time, you guys, thank you so much again for listening. We genuinely appreciate it, and we will come back with more content at some point here in the next week or so. But until next time, guys, have yourselves a magical